The affirmative team is on my right and the negative team's on my left. So I will ask the first speaker for the affirmative team to please come forward.
Hello, I'm Candy from the affirmative team, and I'm speaker one. So one of the main reasons why why same-sex marriage should be approved is because people get to choose what makes them happy, and they shouldn't be stressed out for what they want to choose in life. I mean, it is their life, so they get to choose the way how they want it to end up and out to be. And some people are attracted to only the same gender, and they shouldn't be stressing out why they are attracted to the same gender, and they shouldn't be changing that just for the rules of non-same-sex marriage. And people shouldn't be changing their standards of liking the same gender to fit the society standards of liking the opposite gender and having marriage with the opposite gender. So that's why same-sex marriage should be approved.
Okay, that's why we support same-sex marriage. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, my name is Mia. I am speaker one from the negative team. Naturally, married couples will want to have a child to make them feel complete as a family. If a same-sex married couple decided to adopt a child, we think that it will have a big impact on the child. The child needs both a father and a mother to be fulfilled. The reason for this is they need important influences from both the mother and the father. The father tends to teach the child to take chances and push their limits, while the mother is more protective and cautious. The relationship between male and female in marriage merge their difference, and with the balance in both of their characteristics, provide the child with emotional support and a healthy development. These kinds of parenting style and these benefits can be provided by same-sex parents, which can leave the child to be unfulfilled. Many studies also shows that the children do best when raised by their biological married mother and father. On the other hand, children from same-sex parented families tend to have emotional problems of blending into societies and experiencing gender disorder. Thank you.
Good.
I'm the second speaker from the affirmative team, and we support same-sex marriage. Firstly is because we believe in equality in human rights, and by disagreeing with or being against same-sex marriage is a form of discrimination of one's rights and discriminating one person because of their sexual orientation. Everyone has their rights, and they should be able to choose who they would like to get married to, and they shouldn't have to change that just because of what other people believe. And just now the team that's against same-sex marriage talked about that a married couple same-sex married couple who adopts a child would not be able to raise that child properly. And by saying this, I feel like that is generalizing all people, and like married couple of the same sex can raise a child just as well as a heterosexual couple, and it shouldn't depend on their gender on how well they can raise a child, because that has nothing to do with how the child is going to be raised. Thank you.
I'm the second speaker from the
Negative.
from the negative team, and we believe that same-sex marriage shouldn't be allowed. First, I would like to start off by rebuttaling with Siren's argument about generalizing all people because like just because they're and thinking that not all same-sex married people can raise children well, because the issue is not about how well you can raise a child. It's about just the presence of each parent is important for the child during their development. And sometimes if two parents are of the same gender and they're raising a child of the opposite gender, then they may not be able to understand some of the things that that child is going through, because they may not have had the same experiences as them. And I believe that sexual intercourse is known to be a principal part of happy relationships. Therefore, it's difficult to prevent people of the same sex to have sexual intercourse once they get married. But the problem is that when males have sex with another male, they have 70% higher chance of getting HIV due to the fact that there are biological factors that dramatically increases a gay man's vulnerability to infection. And also, if same-sex marriage is allowed, it may decrease the population because there may be more people of the same sex who get married, meaning there may be less people who are male and female who get married to each other, meaning there will probably be less children. Another reason is that if we look at animals, the nature of animals is for
To have babies?
To have a male and a female be together, not animals of the same sex. So why is it that now we're changing things and making it so that, and yeah, changing what was originally, like, what was changing changing what was originally supposed to be.
Okay, time's up. Thank you. Good girl.
Hello, I am speaker 3 from the
Affirmative.
team, and I would like to make a point from the
Negative team.
negative
The last speaker from the negative team.
from the second speaker of the affirmative team
Yeah.
about having sexual intercourse before achieving a child. Is basically there's also something called a gas or bottle baby, which is known as you take an egg or ovum from a female, from any female that would like to donate, and from a sperm from the donor, who is basically the father or the father of the gay couple. And even for a lesbian couple, it can also be their egg that is donated, which can produce a child without having someone, or without having to be a couple that is between a male and a female, which doesn't actually have to be that case, because even though if a female and a male couple gets married, conception doesn't always result with children, because there is also miscarriages, and there is also many other factors that you have to evaluate before having to have the child. And I like to make another point from speaker 3 from the negative team, is that the living environments and everything, in that a child is going to have problem with development because of a gay or lesbian couple, is because mainly not every gay and lesbian couple. Basically, there is also many reasons why their living might be even better, because sometimes there is also a chance that either one of them, even though gay or even heterosexual, they're also both prone to abuse and also other mental health issues. But the thing is with with parents that are in the LGBT community, that in their childhood experience, they have also experienced more abuse and more sexual assault, and also many other factors that might already impacted their mental health and physical health before, and they would understand the child more, or if they're going through something, and can support the child even more sometimes, and because of that factor.
I'm the third speaker from the negative team. Can I just say, like, rebuttal against the third speaker from the affirmative team, that straight people, everyone, like, also experience abuse, not just gay people. And after, like, the child of a gay couple might be confused, because every child deserves a paternal and maternal figure, and because they are the future of the generation, so we must. And from the beginning of time, hundreds of thousands of years ago, marriage has always been between woman and man. Like, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Daniel or Ruth and Janice. So that's what I like. So why do people still think legalizing same-sex marriage is appropriate? It's like twisting religion, like changing religion. Like, for example, Christmas, Santa gives you gifts. It's like Santa takes the presents instead of giving them. It's defying the laws of nature, and also continuing the population thing. Even if you hire someone to get pregnant for you, to get the kid, there's two parents, so like still one parent won't have a continuing generation. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Your first sentence, when you stand up there, you have got to make it clear what your argument is. And very few of you stood up there and said, we believe that the religious values. It wasn't clear to me, only because I knew what we were talking about. I knew what area you were focusing on, but you need to say it. You need to say, my argument will focus on the psychological disadvantages or advantages of same. Please be clear. Second, you have to learn the appropriate language related to this topic. The only person who did that was Prau. You consistently used the correct language for, you talked, I can't remember, but I was trying to write them down, but can I just tell you something about your English? The word is child and chance, because you were going, child? And I'm like, what? That's how you pronounce it. Just be really careful that CH is a ch. Okay? But the one thing you did was you used very good academic language. Orlin and Prau, you lose focus. You kind of go on a wee bit of a rant. Do you know what a rant is? It's like I rant. Suddenly I want to teach you something and then I'm going on and on a bit. Get to the point. Don't lose focus. And how you keep focus is by having key words. But what you were saying was good. Prowse was a bit stronger because of her use of the correct language. And, okay, so, Candy, not a clear opening statement. It wasn't clear. You spoke about happiness and that sort of thing. You needed to go straight and say, this is about psychological well-being. Yeah? You need stronger language. And you were going the words like stressed out, happiness. They're not powerful words. We've got to find a bigger vocab for you. But I understood exactly what you were trying to say. Oh, and then you talked about cultural and societal at the end. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Do you want to talk about the psychological benefits? Or your main point was also not clear, but you had quite good evidence. You were the only one who really went and had a look at some of the evidence. You must have done a bit of research somewhere. So I totally appreciated that and I heard it. Siren, your rebuttal was good. You said, hey, you can't just generalize and say that all, whatever it was, yeah. So that was a good rebuttal, and your main argument was equality and human rights. So yours was quite clear to me what you were talking about, which was good. You didn't stray off and start talking about psychological stuff. You just kept with it's a discrimination, very good. Olin, yeah, yours was good. I understood that you were, in the beginning, you did rebut the generalization thing, didn't you? You said it's not about you said it's about the presence of both gender. That was your thing. But then, so I understood you were saying it's kind of about the traditional and religious beliefs, but at the end you started talking about the health concerns. Either talk about the health concerns or the religious or the traditional, but don't blend them together. Because your job is not to present 2 points, it's to present 1 point. Would you agree with that? I think I'm right. That threw me, the AIDS thing at the end. Prowl, yours was good. Yours was good. You brought in really, you had really good language. That's what I was impressed with. And you even had some good ideas. For example, that you can have the baby by donating sperm and an egg. And so I thought your arguments were strong, but you tend to go on a bit. Keep to the point. And Randa, you're a good girl for rebuttal. You focused on the religious aspect a little bit, but be really careful because they'll crunch your religious. You needed to you can mention the religious thing, but it's highly likely that people at MUN will be a mixture of people. I would say there is a religious aspect, but go to the traditional. We've got traditions that have come from the ages. Just be careful. It's okay to mention religion, but just be careful that you don't overdo it and like do a religious sermon. Do you know what I mean? You didn't, but I'm just, be careful. I would say you've all done really good stuff. Yours was good, Mia, with your thing. I thought yours was clear. I thought Prowl had the most information. I'd probably have to edge Siren. It's going to edge you out, and I'll give it to Prowl this time.